Welcome back to the Express. At Poco's Leigh Square, their current exhibit, Community Spirit, in part represents that dichotomy that we have living in Metro Vancouver of the rural life and the urban life. We can hit the ski hills and then we can hit a high-profile concert. Reminder that Madonna tickets go on sale this week. But you know what? We are not the center of the universe. Some smaller towns, like my hometown, are getting a piece of this big name live action.
What do you think about these guys coming to Canada?
I think they're really inspiration.
And I'm stoked to hear it pop off.
Who's this? Hope to save my love. Drawing out the hooks with my bought-off shotgun.
Make some goddamn noise!
Going off with a bang, a high-profile hip-hop act is making its way across Canada. Playing to a sold-out crowd at Club 919 in Victoria. The promoters are granting me access to talk to one of the original Bone Thugs and Harmony, Mr. Crazy Bone. Now, where does the word bone, the name Bone, come from?
Man, Bone is actually the family name, you know. That's why everybody has a Bone for the last name, Crazy Bone, Lazy Bone. So that's just something that unites the family, you know.
The story of these hard-working hip-hoppers dates back to the mid-80s, growing up in the ghettos of Cleveland, Ohio. In full survival mode, life on the street was not easy.
Oh man, you definitely have to have some type of street knowledge, mixed with a little bit of education, you know, wherever you can get it from, you know. So it was definitely rough coming up, you know, because we all came up poor, you know what I'm saying, came up from poor families, so it was like survival of the fittest, you know. You had to do what you had to do to survive, to get out of those situations, you know, and we just kept hustling and striving to reach our goal, and we finally made it.
Through into the early 90s, a core group of 5 quickly became bigger players in the rap game, their fast-paced lyrics complementing harmonic and catchy melodic tones, which earned them the respect of some key music industry heavyweights, especially famous West Coast rapper Eazy-E, now deceased. Rest in peace, Easy. It was him that discovered their talent over the telephone and quickly signed them to his record label, Ruthless Records.
Hey, Crazy Bone! Yo, hey, Wishbone! What up? Let's rock Victoria!
The 2 original members touring Canada, Crazy and Wishbone, have their own record label called The Life Entertainment. Now, with a career spanning over 2 decades, in the same respect, the Bone Thugs and Harmony family are on the lookout for up-and-coming talent.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I'm always looking for like new, fresh, raw talent. You know, I'm always on the hunt for that, and that's what I've been mainly into. Like, you know, for the past couple of years, is developing artists and looking for artists and just trying to help them, you know, critique their skill.
In October of 2011, it was Crazy and Wishbone who toured several cities across Canada. Because of the positive response this side of the border, they're back for more, all the while taking on some smaller markets.
We definitely got a lot of fans out here that support our music and the movement, so we appreciate that. And anywhere we got love and support, man, we're gonna come give it back to them, definitely.
What is it about doing like the smaller towns that appeals to you guys?
Cause man, you know, it's more intimate, you know, and like these fans don't really get big acts to come to their towns. Like a lot of artists just skip over those small cities, you know. But it's fans there too. Like, you know, they help those record sales too.
We live such an innocent life here in Victoria. Why do we listen to this kind of stuff?
It might seem innocent, but it's behind the scenes and it's so innocent.
I like the fact that I've been listening to them for over 10 years, and they come from Cleveland, they come all the way to the island, and they're going to throw out a show for us on a Wednesday night. It's all good.
Yeah, because would you ever go to Cleveland to see them?
Oh, that's a long ways. I need to go through all kinds of paperwork.
After Victoria, they head east with several stops passing through Kelowna, Calgary, Montreal, Ottawa, all the way to Halifax. And as Crazy will tell you, life on the road is crazy. It's a lot of work.
How can you keep me in my yard?
Oh man, people think this is all fun and games, you know, like they look at the videos and they think it's a party life, you know, like what they don't know is, you know, like that party life is all mixed in with a whole lot of hours of work.
Reporting in Victoria with my Bone Thugs backstage access, I'm James Green. Do you do like slap 5, stay alive? Do you do that?
What's that? How you do that?
Slap 5, stay alive.
No, we do dap, bam, bam, just like that, just like that.
The website is bonethugsandharmony.com to keep on hanging with the guys and find out what they're up to next. The music industry, it can be a bumpy road, hey? Well, we have another comeback story for you up next. They had a huge success in the mid-90s, and then the Hanson brothers, well, they kind of disappeared. But they're back with a new album and a Canadian tour.
Every day, bands around the world hit the studio ready to record what they hope will become a huge hit around the globe. For three brothers from Tulsa, Oklahoma, that dream became a reality back in 1997 with the release of a song that would live on in pop music history, but not necessarily for the right reasons. Now, the trio, who have continued to make music ever since the release of the now infamous tune Bop, are back with a new record as they get set to release their 5th studio album, Shout It Out.
The album began with this sort of sense of celebration. You know, it's called Shout It Out. It's not sort of say quietly to your friend. It's meant to be sort of a bold statement, and it's, you know, you've got horn arrangements from famous horn arranger that's worked with Michael Jackson and Earth, Wind and Fire and Quincy Jones, and so the whole album has this sort of it just has this sort of a celebratory throwback feel to it. It's a pop soulful album.
The band kicked off promotion for the new record with a Canadian tour as they traveled from coast to coast, experiencing all that the country has to offer, including our winters.
I don't know what we're thinking, touring Canada in the winter.
No, we wanted a real Canadian experience. People come here, they're like, we'll go in this summer. It's like, no, that's not hardcore. We're hardcore. We're extreme.
I mean, the thing about this tour is it's building on a lot of years of making music, a lot of years of playing shows and touring and putting out records. That's what this shows. I mean, the shows are obviously anchored on the new record, but we're playing music from every album.
The band has also branched out beyond their music with the release of some rather unique products.
We've made everything from record players and headphones, which are very musical, LPs and those things, to, Hanson board games like Hansonopoly, because just happens, I'm a huge Monopoly fan. And, chocolates for Valentine's Day, there's a place around from our record label office that we run, we're like, these chocolates are amazing. The world needs to know about it. We're making them.
Exactly.
And then beer. Yeah, this year we're going to be launching Hanson beer. Hops is what we're calling it.
This year we're celebrating our 20th year as a band. And so one of the things we're going to be doing is throughout the year, we're going to be doing different events, live streaming events online that people can kind of attend, fan club events. We have a pretty active online community, and we do physical special shows. And so all year it's going to be kind of about bringing things back to the story of making music for 20 years.
The website is hanson.net. And I admit I have super fun and fond memories of Bop. It's one of those songs that kind of gets stuck in your head, so it's great to see the boys making a comeback. You're watching The Express, and we have more entertainment and some real-life live action coming up.
Another question that I got on YouTube recently came from somebody
behind the green screens with YouTube comedian Josh Reimer.
I'm Miley Cyrus.
Pager goes off, and it could be all hours of the day or night.
On scene with Chilliwack's search and rescue team. The Express, we are your local voice.
Community programming on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by
hairstyling and color services for Shaw TV, provided by The Lounge Hair Studio, loungehairstudio.com.
I think the Sea to Sky Trail is very unique in the fact that people with different disabilities, different levels of disabilities, maybe not even disabilities, maybe someone with a stroller or someone who just has a hard time walking. Just having a trail of this extent, going through the wilderness the way that it does, we never get to see that anywhere, and we never get to use something like that anywhere. You don't have to be disabled, but just to be out with your friends, your family, it's so important and it's so rewarding.
Join Mana Mansour on Pacific Center's West Coast Style as she examines the ethos of what we wear. West Coast Style reflects a love of nature, travel, and adventure. Pacific Center's West Coast Style, exclusively on Shaw TV.
Welcome back to The Express. At Poco's Leigh Square, their current exhibit, Community Spirit, features new works from Art Focus members. They're all Tri-City area artists. Though this is one way to get your spotlight, another way is YouTube. And up next, we talk to Burnaby's Josh Reimer to find out how he became an internet hit.
I put my hair up because I was born this gay, baby.
Josh Reimer is a YouTube content creator who devotes himself full-time to producing videos like these.
Hey Trenders, welcome to today's Top Trending Topics.
This former actor began his YouTube career because he was tired of waiting to be cast in someone else's show, so he decided to make his own.
Well, when I started YouTube, I wasn't really sure exactly what to do, so I just kind of did a bunch of everything, whatever I could think of. And then basically I let the audience guide me on where I was going to go, whichever got the most views, the most likes, the most comments. I mean, that's the amazing thing about YouTube. It's so interactive. So from there, I noticed that my song parodies especially were really popular.
In creating his videos, Josh draws on his personal experience and personal life.
I'm pretty active in the gay scene locally in my regular life, and so I guess those kinds of ideas just come into my head anyway. And I did a couple of song parodies that I just thought of gay ways to do those parodies, and both of them really blew up. They're my most successful videos still to date. So I just sort of took that and thought, okay, I've obviously got an audience that likes my gay content, whether they're gay or not, so I might as well just run with it. So somebody asked me if I'm gay. And by somebody, I mean 23 people in the last week.
Most of Josh Reimer's videos are produced in-house, in his own house.
I do a lot of it here in my living room. I just set up a green screen, or I have a white screen or a black screen, depending on what I need. I've got a whole lighting setup. So I'm able to shoot a lot of the stuff just completely by myself without a videographer or anybody else. A bunch of lights pointed at it and me. And that way...
Josh says the bulk of his time is spent editing his videos and then uploading them to YouTube, a process that he loves and one that his many YouTube fans appreciate.
YouTube is growing at like an exponential rate, you know. It's getting bigger every month, month to month, since it started. There's now 4 billion views per day on the website, so many people are watching it, so many people are using it as their main source of entertainment. It's just a great place for businesses and performers to get exposure.
Come on in, Beepster, sit down, have a seat.
In Burnaby, I'm Kendall Harris for The Express.
I'm Miley Cyrus.
I knew it.
You can see more of Josh's videos at his website, joshreimer.com. You can also subscribe to him on YouTube, you can follow him on Twitter, and I imagine you can find him on MySpace and even Google Maps as well. Entertainers, they get a huge fan base, but so does our next group. They rappel out of helicopters, they swim in freezing cold waters, they scale mountains. It sounds like the makings of an action movie, but it's actually all in a day's work for one of BC's busiest search and rescue teams.
Pager goes off, and it could be all hours of the day or night, and you don't exactly know what you're getting yourself into.
Chilliwack Search and Rescue is a team of 36 volunteers who respond to emergencies anywhere in 1,100 square kilometers of urban, rural, mountainous, swift water, and wilderness terrain.
I think last year we had one of our record years with 80 calls, which puts us in the neighborhood of being the second most busiest team in BC. And that just is a wide, diverse type of call out: mountain rescue, rope rescue, water rescues, things like that.
The team is usually tasked out by the RCMP and typically performs more rescue-based operations than search-based.
A team gets put together with the use of pagers. Some people will come immediately to the scene to start with first aid type treatment. The rest of us roll in shortly behind. unload the boats, unload the UTVs, unload our trucks with the rope gear, that kind of thing, and we start into setting up the scene. Some of the SAR managers get the ball rolling early on with a bit of a plan while en route, so that when you get there, all members kind of know what's happening on scene, and we can kind of just roll into effecting that search as efficiently as we're possibly able.
Although there can be a lot of excitement on a typical search and rescue mission, it's not for everyone.
If you're going to be a member of our team, you need to be able to be prepared to commit 350 to 500 hours a year minimum. This is a team operation. You have to be a team player. We like people to be somewhat involved in the outdoors. If you don't play in the outdoors, then search and rescue is probably not for you. A lot of people think that it's pretty glorious work and it's kind of fun, and I like to do that, and you know, there's not a whole lot of excitement in it. At 3:30 in the morning, it's pitch black and pouring rain, and you've got to go into Lindeman Lake to pull somebody out that's fallen, and you've got a 5 or 6 hour hike for a dozen members of your team.
Chilliwack Search and Rescue is always looking for new volunteers, so if you think you have what it takes and you want to give back to the community, visit chilliwacksar.org. For Shaw TV, I'm Corinne Skalbeck.
The website again is chilliwacksar.org, and a reminder that they are a volunteer organization tasked out by the RCMP. So you can find out how you can get involved, or even just send them a thank you for all of their hard work. You're watching The Express, and it's time now for our spotlight on local events.
The 13th annual Sato Cup tournament held at BCIT in Burnaby is one of the largest traditional karate tournaments in Canada, attracting 400 to 600 competitors every year. Wear your pink shirt on Pink Shirt Day and take a stand against bullying. Net proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of BC's South Coast and CK&W Orphans Fund. Romancing the Stone is a special evening event at the Britannia Mine Museum. On Valentine's Day, you and your date can enjoy a 3-course dinner and an underground train ride.
Also here at Leigh Square in Poco, coming up on February 20th, it's a new exhibit that deals and explores with the topic of feminism to mark International Women's Day, which comes up in March. It features 13 artists and a community quilt piece that spans 3 generations. In the meantime, we're going to leave you with a look at their current exhibit, Community Spirit. Thanks for watching The Express, only on Shaw TV.